What's going on, y'all? What's going on? We here to talk about this Cowboys and this Seahawks game coming up tomorrow. And so the Dallas Cowboys, they've been handling business this past month, right? And one thing's for sure, y'all, when I go against these teams, when we go against these teams, and when I look at this film, I don't look at it from a point of view of the record, right? Now, Seahawks have a winning record though, but I don't look at it from a record point of view. I look at it from how they would attack us, how they playing, and what's going on. See, with the Commanders, right? As we had discussed last week when they came to regards like Commanders, they had the talent, but they just do loser stuff. And once again, when they played us, they did loser stuff. So, that's losing teams is going to always find a way to lose, and winning teams is going to always find a way to win. And this past month, we've been finding a way to win, right? So now that they said that we don't play nobody, that we pretty much play losers. Well, this next month, we're going to be playing against some winners, some people with some winning records. So let's see how this team does against this. Does this team find a way to win against teams with winning records? Now, I would assume that the way we've been beating on these teams, as far as like 50, 10, stuff like that, then I don't really expect that to happen too much coming up. But do I expect to win? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Uh, the winning and losing, the margin is not very big. It's not very big, right? But as mentioned before, winning teams is going to always do what winning teams do. So with that being said, let's get into this scouting report. We got this week. What we got on the menu first is the Seattle Seahawks offense. The key players that I got is DK Metcalf, of course, Lockett, and Charbonnet. Now I know people like Charbonnet, he's a rookie and he ain't did. Yeah, but he's still going to be a key player because if they get Charbonnet going, then we got a whole bunch of stuff on our hands. So it's attacking this offense is kind of simple. It's pretty simple. Where things will get a little bit tricky at is on his defense, but attacking his offense is simple. And we'll go as such as this. So with the key matchups, of course, is our front seven versus Charbonnet. You can dang near say that that's pretty much a key matchup every week. It seemed like it, right? But that's pretty much what it is, right? Our front seven versus Charbonnet. Our corners versus their top three wide receivers. And the top three added into the wide receivers that I named was Njigba because part of their tendencies has him in there. And we'll discuss that in a little bit. So, y'all already know one of the number one priorities, especially going against the Seattle Seahawks team, is stopping the run. A lot of if they're gonna have any success, they're gonna have it on the ground. Now the Dallas Cowboys is catching a break with Ken Walker not being available because Ken Walker, right? They did have a nice little combo punch with that, right? Charbonnet is more of a downhill runner, right? Not saying that he can't hit the outside though, but his strength is going downhill and making you miss downhill, right? Now, y'all know that when we was talking our draft stuff, I gave him comparison to Matt Forte, and I still believe, I still see that he just got to get going. But Ken Walker, he was going to be somebody that hit that thing with burst, that can hit you with the inside and out. He would have been a little bit more of a problem at this point in time of where they at in their respective careers, right? Ken Walker would have, he would have added some more pressure to this defense. So let's say that we lucky that Ken ain't playing. But stopping that run. Everything. See, if we stop that run, it's gonna look. Gino's gonna look like he had the past couple weeks, which is scramble mode. Gino has been uncomfortable. Teams have been making Gino uncomfortable, and part of that is because they haven't been able to rely on the running game. See with Gino, right? Gino, a cool quarterback, right? But Seattle Seahawks want him more in a game managing role, right? They want him to make the plays that's necessary. It's kind of like Cooper Rush, right? He's kind of like Cooper Rush to them, right? That's just gonna make the plays. He thought some shit, he probably was. But but yeah, he's like Cooper Rush to them. You know, somebody that can run their offense, somebody that'll make the plays when necessary, right? I watched the Rams game, I watched the Niners game, I watched it when I was watching the scouting the Commanders. And one thing that I know, even though they lost that Rams game, I know he was out for about a good quarter, about a quarter, maybe quarter and a half. And then he came back and he put them in position to win the game from a game-winning field goal, but their kicker missed it, right? So that margin of winning and losing was very slim in that department. And we know that they just got dominated by the 49ers, right? And and as I mentioned, what was one thing that I believe that Ken Walker, he got hurt that game, if I'm not mistaken. I think he got hurt that game. But they stopped the run though. They stopped the run. Both them L's was a result of stopping the run. And they had Drew Lock having to go ahead and think that he was going to have to make a play, and he threw a pick. He pretty much came in and he sucked it up, right? See, but the way that the Seattle Seahawks want to play. See, even with Russell, what's his name, Russell Wilson, the back end of his Seahawks career, right? They needed to run the ball, and that's the way that they've been playing, regardless of who calling the plays. I believe that's a Pete Carroll thing. They want to run the ball, and if they can't run the ball, especially if look, Gino a cool quarterback though, but we know he ain't no playmaker though. He's just gonna make the throws. He's not gonna throw a whole lot of high risk throws, right? I see corners able to go ahead and at times take a risk and undercut them throws and jump them throws. And past couple weeks, it's been picked off by them undercutting or them almost picking it off. So you have opportunity to undercut them throws. And when Gino, no matter how calm and cool Gino look, you can't rattle him, and you can see it, right? He get a little shaky in the pocket, and when it come down to him stepping up in that pocket, it ain't because they get a lot of pressure up that middle, and we're gonna talk about that offensive line. But when they get that pressure up that middle, of course, any quarterback don't like that though, but there's quarterbacks that know how to handle it better than others, and we're gonna say that he's more on the bottom half and handling that middle pressure, right? Even though Gino can take off and hurt you with your legs and get that occasional first down, one thing's for sure, Gino would rather stay in that pocket, right? He's kind of like what we was getting on with Dak Prescott. Like, bro, why you got all these legs, but you want to stay in this pocket? Gino would rather stay in that pocket though, but he will take off if he have to though. And I've seen it in the film. He will take off, and more than likely, Gino's gonna have to take off. So he's gonna have to come into terms on tomorrow that he gonna have to take off. And if he don't take off, what this offensive line got, we should be picking him off. And what I mean by picking him off, I'm not talking about intercepting. I'm talking about hitting him straight up. But so let's go into these tendencies, right? Let's go into these tendencies. One thing for sure, if Gino wants a big play, a chunk play, and want to work the third level of the defense, it's going to DK Metcalf, right? So Deron Bland needs to be on point when it comes down to that, right? Now, if he wants to work consistently the middle of the field in the intermediate to short range, it's more than likely going to be with Tyler Lockett. If now when he throws it to Njigba, a lot of the throws that I've seen with Njigba is toward the numbers, outside the numbers, right? And he'll run some underneath route. He'll run some comeback routes, but a lot of what he gets is outside the numbers. So them was tendencies that I picked up, right? Because it's kind of was like predictability when it came down to their pass. So they're gonna have to mix that up a little bit, right? And they'll try to do that, right, by trying to run something short with Deacon. But you can tell it is doing that to try to break a tendency, though. But they're not doing it to commit to try to break that tendency. Y'all remember that one game when I told you the Dallas Cowboys, I think it was against Bill Belichick. I was like, the Dallas Cowboys gonna have to break their tendencies. And if they break their tendencies like the Miami Dolphins did to them, they're gonna whoop on them. And Mike McCarthy broke Tennessee that game, and they beat them. Now, Seattle Seahawks, they don't really break tendency. They'll like show you something different, but it's not to go ahead and it's the hope that you take that bait of having to worry about something else. But in our reality, they're going to continue to do what they do. And this is how they're going to attack you. Deep with Metcalf, short to intermediate more with Lockett. And I even seen them throw a screen to Lockett and outside the numbers with Njigba. Right? And anybody else is just extra, right? They'll dump it down to Charbonnet, right? Because Charbonnet is a good catcher of the football. Well, both their running backs when they were playing good cut, but Charbonnet is a good catcher of the football, right? So you'll see a lot of, so you ain't gonna be able to see some of the routes out the backfield like you would with Ken Walker, but Charbonnet will be their check down though. So I wouldn't be surprised if Charbonnet definitely probably have about a handful of catches because he's gonna have to get the ball out quick. Now, one thing I noticed about this offensive line, right? You're able to push the pocket. I also noticed that, especially in the interior, they lack the ability to pick up stunts consistently. They have trouble with picking up stunts. I've been noticing that whether I catch them live, whether I do some film, looked at some film, because I've been kind of keeping an eye on Seattle Seahawks. And one thing I've seen, especially around that left guard, is that they struggle at picking up the stunts. I believe on my other sports channel, I did a film session on the Baltimore Ravens when they played the Baltimore Ravens. Same thing. Couldn't pick up no stunts. They ran it with Queen. They ran like you can do a whole bunch of things, and they're not going to pick it up. They struggle with that. And there's some barbecue chicken in the interior of that offensive line. So once again, our interior should be taking advantage of it. Once again, this will be the game where Dan Quinn should isolate Michael Parsons on the center, right? Having pretty much everybody one-on-one and having Michael Parsons one-on-one on the center. Because Charles Cross, he a solid left tackle. And not saying that we can't whoop on him with Micah. Do you really want to go ahead and put your and to have him on the hardest matchup when you got barbecue chicken on the inside? That's all I'm saying, DQ, right? But Charles Cross, when healthy, he is a solid left tackle. I remember we did our scouting report when I first started doing this Cowboy content. And Charles Cross, he a solid left tackle. I like the Charles Cross. But also barbecue chicken, Jason Peters. Look, Jason Peters, you a Hall of Famer though, but time and time again, I don't get why you keep coming back. You know good and well that you only got like a good 7 to 10 snaps, and it's over for you. But I seen he got banged up, and whoever came for him, and for him was also barbecue chicken. So if you got Jason Peters old ass starting over you, you suck. Let's just be real, right? You suck. Look, Jason Peters is what, 60 years old, right? He probably as old as your offensive line coach. And if they got to call him off the street to start, you got some terrible right tackles. I'll just be honest with you. Right? Yeah. No. Uh-uh. No. That's barbecue chicken too. We know that. Right? And if Seattle Seahawks want to protect Geno and have a chance to beat us, it has to be through the ground. They have to establish the ground and then establish DK and lock it off of the play action, right? Because if they struggle and they continue to let this pressure get in Geno's face and not able to stop the running game, we should beat the Seattle Seahawks by like 17 straight up. But if they allow that running game to get going, it's gonna be a game. And the Seattle Seahawks do have the team to beat you, right? They have the team to beat you. They do. They can beat you, right? So if you was to lose, it wouldn't be like, oh, we lost to the Seattle Seahawks. No. But in all reality, y'all, given by the same circumstances that we all being in, the Seattle Seahawks is pretty much playing the 3 games in what, like 7? I don't know how long it is though, but what, like 18 days or whatever the case may be. They playing the same type of schedule, right? And I believe we home. There's no excuses. Get the job done. We know we got to go ahead and keep winning because the NFC, it's kind of tight. You got to keep winning, right? I'm not saying and people thinking that division is far off. No, the division is not far off because from what we've seen, the Dallas Cowboys play better at home. So guess what? You need to go ahead and do everything in your will power to go ahead and try to get home field advantage. So you need to go ahead and get this win. This is the type of win that'll go ahead and possibly haunt you if you don't get it. You need to get this win. You need to beat these teams. This is about having favorable matchups in the playoffs so we can do damage. This is about not just getting in and then whoever we play. No, because we're not even sure that the things that we think could be patched up is really patched up. And you're only going to know once we see competition. And we're about to start seeing competition. So we're about to find out real quick what we about. But yeah, man, that's pretty much when it comes down to, attacking them, right? When they get in the red zone, I would expect heavy slants from DK. I would at least expect for that to be one of their first options to slant it on DK or try to pound you inside. It's kind of, I ain't gonna lie, it was kind of predictable. Looking at the Seattle Seahawks offense, it ain't the most explosive in the world, right? But you need efficiency to win games, though, right? And the Seattle Seahawks, right? The way that they play, especially on offense, is the reason why that they've been losing these games. If we're just going to be honest with you, right? So they need to step their game up on the offensive end. They need to add some more explosion to them on the offensive end if they're going to be able to go ahead and even make the playoffs. If they want to do what they want to do in the playoffs, to be honest with you. But let's talk about this defense. On paper, defense real good. On paper, defense got a whole lot of talent. And on that field, let's be honest, defense got a whole lot of talent, but they got to put it together though. So let's look at these key players. I don't know if Frank Clark playing. I didn't see him on the injury report or the injury reserve. I know he was banged up, so he possibly could be playing. That's just gonna be some more handful for this offensive line. But the key players I got for this game is Weatherspoon. Y'all know we talked about him in the draft. That's my favorite corner in the draft, Weatherspoon. He balling. Jerron Reed, our old friend Leonard Williams, Quandre Diggs, Bobby Wagner. It's been a long time since I gave you a whole lot of key players on one side of the ball. Key matchups. I must tell you, Boye Mafe on Steel and maybe Frank Clark. And our D tackles versus our guards versus their D tackles. Our guards versus their D tackles. Uh Also, I'm gonna go ahead and put in possibly this chess match with Bobby Wagner versus Dak Prescott. I'm also put in that possible chess match because it could be a chess match going on with that one, right? But one thing, right? This Cowboys offensive line gonna have to play some ball. Jerron Reed has been up and down, but you've seen in the past he has double digit sack potential, right? He's their best pass rusher inside. Boye Mafe, I think his streak stopped, but he was getting a sack a game. Leonard Williams, we know what's up with Leonard Williams. Frank Clark, Super Bowl champ, good pass rusher, right? Bobby Wagner, we desired to have him, but we didn't get him. He has lost a step or two, but he was so athletic, he's still playing real good. You got Brooks, he a hitter. You got Quandre Diggs, a good cover safety. You got Jamal Adams, who can't cover, but will be playing in the box, kind of like your Donovan Wilson. You got the other corner. I can't think of his name right now. Let me see. Did I write his name down? Woolen, Tariq Woolen. He's solid. You got damn, what's that other safety name? I can't think of his name, y'all. But anywho, let's get into this. So look, we're gonna have to protect. They're gonna isolate offensive line. I would expect. Look, our weakest when it comes down to protection and period is your right side. So the attention is going to be on your right side, right? Terrence Steele is going to have to show that he's going to hold up. See, I know people was making excuses for that boy, talking about the leg. No, because when I see him play, especially last week, I didn't see no leg problems. There may be the confidence problem, but an injury, no. Stop making excuses. Mike McCarthy, don't make no excuses for that boy, right? The only one I can honestly tell you that deserves any type of excuse is Jordan Lewis. But Jordan Lewis has been playing solid. So as I mentioned before, I never understood the criticism. But if anybody gonna get an excuse, it should be Jordan Lewis. But I don't believe in excuses. If you can't produce, sit your ass down. Straight up. If you can't produce, sit your ass down. But with that being said, one thing, especially, I pay a lot of attention to the way that the San Francisco 49ers attacked them on Thursday. And I seen that they had a lot of success in running the inside zone with CMC, and I believe Debo even scored on one. Look, I believe this was a Rico game. But I believe that Rico, Turpin, and TP all is going to have their mark if we're going to have any success in running the football. I believe you got to run the football with all three of them. You see them give the ball to Debo and attack them the way that you got to attack them. You would think that with the addition of Leonard Williams that their run defense will be better than what it is, but they was kind of getting sliced up by McCaffrey and them. Now I know they're about, oh, but no. If I'm gonna bring in Leonard Williams and I got the expectation with this D and I got the talent I got on my D, there ain't no way they should have got sliced up like that. So there's some room for some tough running. See, CMC was making people miss, and they was running tough in there. So one thing that I seen is that the San Francisco 49ers brought the physicality to them. One thing that I see on the back end, when the Rams stop playing conservative and they start attacking downfield, their DB started getting a little gravity. I mean, a little grabby. I mean, they started getting grabby a little bit, right? I seen Woolen get a couple penalties. I seen even Witherspoon get a little grabby at times. So, regardless of the talent of this team, I will still be aggressive. But you got to be physical, though. You got to be physical. You got to be physical. Look at y'all. But you got to be physical, man. And this offensive line, y'all, they've been playing together past couple weeks. They have all the talent in the world. All of them is Pro Bowlers. All of them got talent. We have the ability to run the football. You got Zach Martin, you got Terrence Steele, who his number one thing is running the ball. You got a Hall of Famer in Zach Martin, Tyler Smith, young beast, Tyron Smith, OG beast, and Biotish, who's talented in his own right. There ain't no way that we shouldn't be leaning on any team we see, but especially the Seattle Seahawks. I don't give a damn if they got Leonard Williams and Reed and Frank Clark and Boye Mafe and Wagner and Brooks in their front. I don't give a damn about none of that. Take it to them. Take it to them. You take it to. See, it's cold now. We getting toward December, right? You need to be able to run the football. Throwing the football, cool, yeah. But you got to be able to run that football when it's time to run that football. And tomorrow, that's the time to show that you can really run that football. Because all I seen against the 49ers, they was able to go ahead and slam and seal off Bobby Wagner. And when they sealed him off, they had some chunk runs. And you can seal them off, right? Give him a little misdirection, get Bobby flowing one way and seal him, and boom. I seen that. You have some success that way. But you got to take it to him, though. And the 49ers took it to him. And you have to follow that same blueprint. One thing is that they will go ahead and send some pressure. They will send Witherspoon on some corner blitzes, and I've seen them get home. So they will send things in times where they may not expect it. So it's important that we do what the Seattle Seahawks offensive line can't do, which is pick up some of these games. It's a must. Also, their deep tackles at the line of scrimmage, they do have a knack for batting down balls. So Dak Prescott, be wary of that. Because sometimes that ball bounces in a certain type of way and you get one of these fluky interceptions, and we don't want that. Not on Thursday. Not on the last, right? But if I'm them, right? Because one thing that you can do is attack the middle of the field on this defense. There's opportunities to attack them in the middle of the field, right? So I would think, right, CD. I would think one thing that I seen, right, Debo Samuel will take him over the middle, right? And the way that they use Debo to attack the Seattle Seahawks, I would like for Turpin to be in that role. I think Turpin can do that. Turpin can do that well. This might be a coming out game, a breakout game. You know, Turpin scores here. But I think this could be a game where Turpin, probably even Gallup, could go ahead and come up big. And if Tolbert get the snaps, Tolbert, I think they can really attack that middle of the field because I wouldn't bank on it that they will really go ahead and lead CD one-on-one with Witherspoon. But if they do, CD got to take that as disrespect and dog his ass. He got to dog his ass if he take that, bro. Look, we don't win against Sauce. We don't win against all these corners that they say was bad. CD toast them. And CD will toast them. So CD gotta come up. I like the way, right, that Dak been playing. He's gonna have to continue to play like that. I seen Boots give this team some trouble because look, Leonard, look, the way that they want to play, Leonard, they want to come at you. But if you get them, Leonard and them having to go ahead in East and West, there's some opportunity there. And I seen these teams that have been running boots on them, they've been getting they've been having some good success against them. So I would and we know Dak Prescott on the run is at his best, whether he's taking off, running boots, these waggles, whatever the case may be. I've seen Dak Prescott is at his game, at his best. Put him in some RPO situations, right? But Dak Prescott has taken, at least we hope he's taken the next step. He seems more comfortable back there. He seems more comfortable. He seems more trusting of his wide receivers that they're going to be there. And I've seen him just trust him. Y'all remember that video that I made a couple years ago about how everybody else trusts their number one wide receiver but Dak? Well, we've been seeing more and more of that. So hopefully we'll see that tomorrow. But yeah, just take it to him. Take it to him. And I would keep an eye out on Tariq Woolen and see if there could be some barbecue chicken when it come down to that. But yeah, man, that's how y'all go ahead and attack them. I wasn't too sure. I had ran the tape back though, but I did see when Bobby Wagner was encouraged on the running backs that McCaffrey was able to get some a couple times on that. So I will go ahead and see if Bobby Wagner can still cover it. I would attack that and see, or I'll definitely put Brooks in coverage situations because I know you can have some success on that. But I'll see. Can Bobby handle Turpin? I don't think he can because these running backs. Because these running backs also out the backfield can have success against his defense. And when Dak Prescott extends the play, you can also have success against the defense. I've seen that a couple times, as mentioned, with Sam Howell when it went against the Commanders. So there's some opportunities there. But a lot of this is going to fall on the physicality aspect and Dak Prescott create. Now we paying Dak Prescott $40 million, right? So this is a game where your $40 million quarterback has to win. This is a game where your $40 million quarterback has to win the game for you. Has to. Has to. If the defense is improving the way that they think that they are, then giving up 28, 27, no. No. You need to be physical and you need to stop that run and you need to go ahead and put pressure up that middle on Geno. Make him uncomfortable. Wash him out that pocket. When you wash him out, I've seen him make some dumbass throws. He especially did that against the Baltimore Ravens. So wash him out. But anywho, y'all, that's my time for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this scouting report. Please hit that like button if you do, and hit that dislike button if you don't. But anywho, y'all know we'll be back tomorrow to talk about this game. Till next time, y'all. We gone.